Hey, what is up, everyone? Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler. I got a special Know Your Stuff today. We're going to talk about Raikes Bears, what they're about, a little bit of brief history on these bears. We're going to go over a little bit of prices on eBay, what to look for, what is up with Raikes Bears. Found some Stife Bears the other day, and it really sparked my interest to get back into the bears. I used to run an eBay store for a hobby shop in the early 2000s, and we sold all kinds of stuff, die-cast cars. We sold bears, beanie babies, all kinds of things like that, and I learned a ton about these kind of things. And I see these consistently at garage sales more than anything, and I'm pretty sure some of you have seen these around, and they're pretty obvious once I start to get into it, and especially if you don't know anything about these, it's going to be very obvious about these, and we're going to get right into it. So basically, what is a rake bear? Let me give you a little history. It was created by Robert Rake. They started selling these in the 70s, but he was an artist. He was known for carving stuff, and then one of his clients asked him one day, well, could you carve some like a face and then put it on a stuffed animal or whatever like that? And that's how Raikes Bears was born. He started. This was really super popular in the 70s and the early 80s. These were really popular, and basically what they are is a wooden head, or usually a wooden face. And we can actually look in it right this. Let's look at one that's kind of. Let's see here. Which one should we do? I guess let's look at this one. As you can see, it's got like a wooden face, and they're wood. And I'm not sure if they're completely like hand carved or anything like that. This one appears to be one of the ones that were the newer ones. And let's see if we can find one that is pretty big. So like this is, I would say if I looked at this is probably one that was in the early 80s, and as you can see, they have wooden faces. Some of you might have seen these at garage sales. So this is why I really want to do a Know Your Stuff on Raikes Bears, because like I said, I consistently see these, and some of them are worth a pretty good amount of money, and we're going to get into that right now. So they're pretty like standard sized bears. They probably are about 12 inches tall, and some of them are a little bigger, some of them are a little smaller, and then they also have artist proofs and stuff like that, but we'll get into that right now. So let's check out eBay. We are sorting by highest. This one was trying to get 575 for, and it doesn't appear that they got that for this one. This one is a 2-foot one. It's a scarce. It says artist proof, and as you can see, this one is huge. Wow, this is a big one. As you can see, Robert Rake has signed this. It looks like it says 2001. This was a little later in the career. Robert Rake actually partnered up with Applause, the famous plush maker, in the mid 80s and through the 90s. And what happened was they separated ways. The partnership dissolved. There was some issues with quality, and Robert Rake pretty much took his brand back, started producing these on his own again. This one looks like it's from 2001. As you can see, the quality is a lot better. And let's look a little bit more about the prices on these. So you're asking, like, what am I looking for? Just make sure that the faces aren't all chipped away or dented, because this is wood, and wood can get damaged very easily. This one's a 1987 bear. The faces are, let me just be straight with you guys. If you see these in the wild, they're usually gonna be beat up as far as the faces, because a lot of people that over the years, these faces will like hit the ground. As you can see, there's a little kind of, I don't know if maybe that's a glare, but there's some inconsistencies in the eyes here. Maybe it was scratched. But the most common flaws you'll find in these things is you'll find dents. Sometimes they'll have chips. Sometimes they'll have scratches. Sometimes the fur will be discolored or something on them. This one actually looks like amazing condition, like it was in a, stored away in a pretty good spot. They were trying to get 400 for this one. I'm not sure if they got it. They did get over 200, as we can see. This one sold. This one looks like a bunny. This is a 20-inch one. And you can see this one appears to be an older version also. And for me, I can look at these and usually tell like what kind of era these were. This one looks like a weird cat. And this one also signed. It might be an artist proof. Look out for Robert Rake's signature on the bottom. These are this is like a really crazy niche as far as collectible bears. So there's not going to be a ton of people probably like, I don't know, like forging those signatures. And you can look on eBay. There's a ton of signatures. And I think Robert Rake has changed his signatures a little bit over the years. Let's see if this one is signed. This one appears to be one of the ones from the 80s also. You can tell the 80s ones, yeah, see Robert Rake. I noticed that like the 80s ones, let's see if there's a close-up of the face. Hopefully there is. No, you see how the wood's kind of like an orangey dark wood? You can usually tell like a lot of the older ones have this kind of darker wood to them. This one went for $200. You can consistently find these at garage sales and stuff like that. I enjoy these ones. The ones actually this was a prototype. This is kind of weird. I actually like the ones that don't stand. I like the ones that are actually like bears, like this one. It's more true to life than a silly bear with like clothes and everything. I love this kind of style. This is definitely something that I like. And as you can see, this is another one from 1986. Remember, I was telling you that if you want to date these easily, it's by the color usually of the wood. You see how this is that darker orange wood I was talking about? This one happens to have a hang tag. Oh, we can see inconsistency here. You see, oh, I don't know if that's the nostril, but you can see like this has some kind of like chip or wear on the nose. As you can see here in the bottom of the little, I don't know what you would call that, the lip, the upper lip. There's some scratching there. So just definitely look at these. If you can find these for like $5 or $10 without doing research, that's a pretty good price point if you can find them for that cheap. If people are going to want like $20 or $30 or $40 for these at garage sales or estate sales, definitely look them up. You might ask yourself, well, how do I look these up? Some of them have notations on the paws on the bottom of the feet. Some of them have hang tags and stuff like this. Here's another vintage one. This is one of the ones from, I don't know if this style was from the 70s or the 80s. Let's see if it says. Yeah, this one says mid 70s. So the ones that kind of look like this are from the late 70s, early 80s. You know, the ones that like literally are a bear with just the wooden face. These ones are like the 70s versions and stuff like that. And also you can see the darker kind of orangey wood and stuff like that. So these are definitely out there. Definitely do your research on some of these. Let's look at some of the lower prices. These things literally go usually around $20 or $30. So that's what I'm saying. If you can find like the larger ones for a good price, and they came in boxes too. I forgot to tell you that. Usually the ones from the 80s. This is an 80s one. They usually come in these boxes too. Not all of them came in boxes, but when they were getting really popular and everything, as you can see, there's the darker wood I was talking about. This is the 80s wood. So yeah, that is that. And let's actually we looked at completed at the top, and we saw that there was one that got, this was a prototype one. Let's look at stuff that is live and see what the top stuff is there. We'll take a dive into that real quick. There is 1,700 listings, so there's a pretty good amount of bears being listed. This one is a $1,000 one. Oh, this is a one of a kind creation. Tommy, 1995. This one looks like a boy. Looks like Robert Rake was actually doing some, let's see, this is one of a kind, original. Doing some carving, getting back to the roots of being an artist. This one's a little clown one, as you can see. These are the ones that we used to sell in the shop. These kind of like country bear looking ones. We sold a lot of these in the early 2000s. There was a certain amount of people. And you can see here, the ones that were in the 80s, the mid 80s, and I think some of them that were in the 90s had these like wooden stamps on them. They're like not etching, but they're pressed. And that's a good way to actually look some of these up, because usually they're not named. But oh, this is actually a collection of them, not just one of them. Yeah. So anyways, folks, know your stuff. We just dove into Raikes Bears. So if you've actually found these, if you collect these, someone, usually older women collect these that I noticed. You're not going to find a lot of guys collecting these or a lot of things. Or this is from my experience working at the hobby shop. It was usually older ladies that collected these things. And usually you find them at estate sales. They pass away and their kids are like, I don't want this crap. And you find these at estate sales and garage sales and stuff like that because they're kind of, I don't want to say they're creepy, but they're kind of different, and a lot of, they don't rub people the right way sometimes. And like I said, look for these, know your stuff. Raikes Bears. If you found one of these, let me know in the comments below if you've seen these. If you've passed these up, you're like, I don't know what these are, and just passed them up. Well, now you know what they are. Like I said, a lot of these don't go for a ton of money, but if you can get these for $5 to $10, and they're in mint condition as far as the face, always look at the face first. If the wood is all mangled, you don't want it. Unless it's like a super rare one. A collector's, it's not a huge market in this. That's why it's like a special niche. That's why I do these know your stuff videos, because I want to show you guys there's like a million different things out there that a lot of people don't know about. A lot of people might not know about Raikes Bears. So here we go. If you enjoyed this video, if you found this educational, please click the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe, click the bell, share the video, show your friends, tell your family, tell your dog. I'm Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler. I really appreciate everyone's support, and we'll see you later.